All right, so in our last video, we got a question about how we met again. So I know we brought it up before, but we've never done a story time about how it all went down.
Is that why we're sitting under blankets? It's story time?
No, I just like blankets.
Oh. Oh.
You didn't need to grab a blanket. You just grabbed one because I grabbed one.
Yeah. I thought it was the thing to do. Alright, so I came back. Let's see, how did this all go down? Yeah, so came back from deployment in 2007, and I started dating this one girl I worked with, and that didn't work out. So then I was like, well, I work with a bunch of guys. Not into guys, so I need to find a way to meet girls. So I don't really got a lot of options, because really the only girls at my work were already spoken for and were way older. So that's not really an option. So I took to the old interwebs and tried the online dating. And not really a whole lot of results there. However, I did meet this one girl. And we went out on one whole date. And I knew from that one date, this ain't gonna work. So I'm like, oh, well, I didn't ghost her, but I told her, like, you know what, I just wasn't feeling the whole date. I mean, we did a lot of talking before we even went on our date, but yeah, it just didn't work. So I'm like, hey, this isn't. Yeah, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste mine. So that's well, obviously she was very upset. So basically she stopped talking to me, which was fine, because that was
your goal.
that was the goal. But then so then I went out with this other girl, and that didn't really last that long. But then, so this initial girl, Sarah, she started talking to me again, and I'm like, oh, okay. So she got over the whole, not wanting to go out. It's because she met another guy, and so she was all like, oh, hey, back to talking to you. And she's like, I know a girl that I think would be perfect for you. She's like, it's my friend. I'm like, okay, well, that's not really saying a whole lot, considering like we weren't gonna work. But she's like, no, like you got, like, she's like, I get it now. Me and you just weren't good. It wasn't gonna work. So she understood. So she's like, but I think this other girl is gonna mesh a lot better. So she gave me Cambria's MySpace.
It was that long ago.
MySpace screen name, and I'm like, did she just give me a dude? Because your name on MySpace was Mikey.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, is this the right person?
My name on MySpace was Mikey because my grandfather always calls me Mikey since I was born, because my mom and dad, one, didn't know if I was a boy or girl, and two,
that's why I was confused.
Didn't have a name picked for me. And my grandfather finally said, well, I'm calling it Mikey. And my mom's like, what if it comes out a girl? I'm still Mikey to my grandfather. So yes, my screen name on there was Mikey.
So very cautiously, I was like, hey, I sent a message saying, hey, I'm friends with Sarah. She said, hey, we should maybe talk, get to know each other, maybe try going out. And we talked a bit back and forth. Eventually, we set it up where we did actually go out on a date. Now, this date was I don't even know how we even established. I think we went to eat.
Yep.
And then we went back to my house.
Yep.
But during this period, it kind of like came at like the worst possible time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that week we went out. So we went out on a Tuesday night. And I worked the next day, so that really didn't help. But so we went out on a Tuesday night, and then I had to leave for military training. I had to go to Utah for training on Friday. So I'm like, hey, I gotta go to training. I'm gonna be gone for like 5-6 weeks.
I was actually also leaving, I think pretty much the same day, with my dad to go to Florida. And I was not in the blind with him messaging me on MySpace. Because Sarah had also come to me. Before we met, I was in a relationship with a guy who was 13 years older than I am and had a little girl. And everything was going good until he met my dad. And my dad was not okay with this guy at all. Might have been because a 31-year-old was dating his 18-year-old daughter and had a daughter of his own. But either way, I was like, whatever. Like, if we want to be together, it shouldn't matter. And he basically told me, oh, well, if your dad can't handle it. He couldn't define our relationship of actually being a relationship because of that. And I didn't want to be in a relationship like that, so I ended it right away. I'm like, you either want to be with me or you don't, and done. So I was upset about that. And Sarah, who was also my friend, was like, well, you need to get back out in the dating game. So I'm going to hook you up with a friend that I know. So that's how, on my end, it started, is I was getting over a breakup.
So I was a rebound?
Yes.
I did not know this. I was just a rebound?
Yep.
My God.
But after that first date, I knew there was something special there because, one, he still picked me up because I lived with my parents, took me out, went back to his house, and he didn't try anything.
No funny business.
No funny business. And most guys I had gone out with, all guys I had gone out with previously, always tried at least something. At least a makeout session. If not, trying to do more. So that right there had piqued my interest. He opened doors. Like, he was that, like...
I came to your door.
You came to my door. Yep.
I didn't just beep the horn.
My dad was happy about that.
Or text you.
Or text
hey,
me.
I'm here. Come outside.
So he did all the right things that you were always told guys should do. But I think nowadays a lot of girls are just like, no one does that anymore. At least that's how I felt.
That's old-fashioned.
That's old-fashioned. No one does that. He did all of it. Came to my door, opened doors. He didn't try anything. So I was like, well, this is different.
Yeah, actually, you made the first move. And that was just a simple kiss goodnight. That was it.
Yeah. So
then...
I remember. Yeah.
So yeah, kiss goodnight.
Did I really initiate that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So then, knowing that we both were leaving, we're like, all right, well, you can't like go out right away the next day. That'd be kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta let it like simmer a little bit. Well, we went out the day after that then.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and we both pretty much left on Friday.
Yeah.
So the second date, I don't
remember.
I don't remember it. I
No.
really don't. It really was more of, I think, like, because we were both like like we want to go out just to kind of spend time, but at the same time, it's like we both knew we were going. So it's like, is this going to go anywhere?
Yeah. Because it wasn't like we were just going to be gone for a week. Like, it was going to be a long time that we were going to be gone. And my initial plan with going to Florida was that I was not coming back to Wisconsin. I was planning on going down and finding a condo down there. The housing market was really good for buying. So I knew I could get a condo near my parents' house in Florida and pay less in a mortgage than rent. That was my plan. I was not planning on staying in Wisconsin. It's cold here. So if you're ever wondering why we always talk about moving down south, that was the initial plan. This isn't a plan that has changed. We just never got to that point.
Yeah.
But we talked every day on the phone, probably for hours at night.
Yeah. Except when you went out or something like that.
Yeah. Because I still had friends and stuff in Florida, so if I went out or something.
Those are the nights that, like after class, if I knew she was going to be out and we weren't going to talk on the phone, I remember doing this. I watched like season 1 of Sons of Anarchy. Because I'm like, oh, like I started watching it right before I left season 2. And I'm like, I don't really know what's going on. So while I was gone, I'm like, all right, this is a chance to catch up and get all. And then I got her hooked on it.
Yeah, I missed that show. That was a good show.
Yeah.
I'm not into the new Mayans.
Well, it's not bad. I like it.
I just can't get into it. Needless to say, though, by the time he got done with training, I came back from Florida because I wanted to see more of where it would go. And we probably knew more about each other than any guy I'd ever dated just because of that time where there was no physical, it was purely us talking and getting to know each other.
Yeah, and we covered a lot of, like, topics big subjects that normally, I don't know, like, when's the appropriate time to cover them. But we talked about marriage and, like, it's not that, hey, we should get married.
Well, what's your plans?
But what are your thoughts on marriage?
Yeah.
And what is your family's background with marriage? Are your parents, is this their first marriage? Do they believe in only getting married one time? And my parents, they have only been married to each other. And majority of my parents' family has only been married one time. And looking at your family, I'm pretty sure
exact same way.
It's the same way.
So we kind of have that same belief of marriage is forever. It's not a what's the season type situation.
You'd make a great first wife.
Yeah.
One of those.
It wasn't one of those.
We can always try to get it right the second time around. No, it wasn't that.
No.
So we hit those topics. We talked about kids. Now, originally, I'm not opposed to kids. If it happens, it happens. Obviously, hers was, I want kids. So I'm like, well, we'll just see what happens, We didn't try to have a kid after we got married. It was more of it just happened. Because that's just the way it was meant to be.
Yeah. Xander, we had him...
Well, now we're fast forwarding too far. So
yeah,
let's keep going
too far.
So then we also hit, your basic stuff. Are you a cat person, dog person? Dog.
Religion.
I don't even know if we went into politics or anything like that.
No.
Main topics of argument in the world, right? Politics, religion, and sports. So we figured out the religion part. We didn't even go into politics, and we figured out sports.
And we were
Packers. You're good. Packers, Brewers. You're good. Wisconsin. So it's not, and you're partial to Florida, so that didn't throw a wrench in it at all either.
No.
Knowing that you're like, well, Tampa Bay's not bad. I'm like,
well, if I was picking
and
a
that's the
team,
Packers,
if I was picking a team in Florida, Tampa Bay would be the team I picked.
Yeah. Well, they were in our division for a while. For a long while. And then we split.
Packers still outranked them.
That's where we didn't have an ise then. So we hit 2 out of 3 major topics that people fight over. So, because even at work, one of the guys I work with, him and his wife are opposite ends of politics. And I'm like, how do you live in that house? And he's like, not easy. So when it comes to election time, it's like you're living on the opposite side of the house now. Like, no, didn't hit that subject, but
like I said, I think we naturally just knew.
I think we had enough in common that it was just like, okay, yeah. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but we got to first develop the relationship more before anything.
Yeah. So after that, we both came home, went on a couple more dates and whatnot. But by the time we got home, it ramped up to be pretty serious.
And then you left me again. You left me again.
Thanksgiving?
For Thanksgiving in Florida.
Yeah.
She left. And then she came back 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is this girl for real? I thought we were getting along, and then you leave. I'm like, is she gonna come back? Because I was like, more time she spends in Florida, maybe she'll just stay there.
But fast forward to Christmas.
Yes.
My mom was up here for Christmas. She had not met Bobby yet. Had Dad met you?
Yes.
Probably just because of you picking me up and stuff like that, though.
Yes.
So we invited you to Christmas.
And with fair warning, one, I was an outsider going to a family event that apparently nobody has ever done that before.
No, not as a
but then
someone
also
dating.
Disclaimer, your mom is I don't know if I'm going to use the right word.
Mom watches these videos also.
I don't know if I'm using the right word, but a little eccentric.
Yes.
A little bit. So, going and doing Christmas plus then having your mom there, it was a lot all at once.
Yeah. We are also a family of mostly women.
But it was really funny because it was a lot at once, but then it was a lot, you could see the family values were the same.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The humor.
Yes. We have very dry humor.
Well, not even dry. Well, I don't know if it was dry. I remember, one of the first nights that I was at your parents' house, and we were just, watching TV, and I remember your dad's like, well, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed, and your mom's all like, yeah, I think I might go to bed, too. She's like, if you play your cards right, you can get lucky tonight. And your dad's like, oh, you're going to let me sleep? And I was just like, what the heck? It was funny.
It was very much my parents.
Yeah. Oh, good. You're going to let me sleep tonight.
Oh, man. So at that point, because he spent a good amount of time at my house when my mom was in town. So, not a crazy amount, but enough to get to know my parents to a point. And my mom told me before she went back to Florida that I need to figure out my feelings for him. Because her exact words is, figure out if you love this boy or not, because he's going to ask you to marry him. And that's what she told me. And I was like, we haven't even been dating for 6 months.
Yeah.
I knew I liked him a lot. But we hadn't even been dating for 6 months.
Well, and that was the thing, too, is the whole thought of marriage is, there's stages, right? Okay, you're going to do this in this time frame, and then you date for this long, and then you get engaged.
Then you have like a year-long engagement.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, don't rush into stuff. You got plenty of time. Not this one. She's like, it's either you know it or you don't.
Yeah.
That's what it was. What's the difference between knowing it 2 years from now or knowing it now? I guess it worked.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're here now, over 11 years later.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I am always the one that I'm not about to waste my time on a guy, which is why the relationship before you failed, because he didn't know. And if you don't know, I'm not wasting my time. Because to me, dating was not for fun. Well, it can be for fun, but for me, when I dated someone, especially long term, it was with the goal of marriage, always in mind, not to jump around from guy to guy.
Your plans were you want to get married, you want to have all your kids before you're 30.
Yeah.
So, as of right now, you've accomplished that goal. Unless we have a fourth, you're not going to do it all
close enough. It
Pretty close.
Could have happened if you didn't get deployed.
Yeah, but if I didn't get deployed, who's to say you'd be doing YouTube?
True.
You might not be. And then at that point, who's to say we would even have Freya?
True.
So...
it all happens for a reason. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so... knowing this, we are like, okay, well, I know I want to get married to you. You want to get married to me. Well, I guess we better figure this out sooner than later. Especially, we also knew that there was like some reason we're like, okay, if we don't get married this year, then next year there was something that was happening that we're like, well, that will interfere with something.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what it was.
Well, so I knew I wanted to get married quick. But literally when we got at least talking, I don't think we were technically engaged yet, because we knew we were getting married before you gave me a ring. My brother had just proposed to his girlfriend. And literally, like, we were calling to tell my brother... or no, he called us to say he got engaged. And I was like, oh, well, so did we. Pretty much. Like, we had picked out the ring. I knew he had bought the ring, but he didn't want to give it to me until he could actually propose.
Yeah. Well, I had to go ask her dad first.
And that was a big deal.
'Cause, fun fact, I don't know if you know this.
I don't know what you're about to say.
I was engaged before.
I didn't know that.
I didn't go ask her father.
Oh, really?
No.
Why'd you ask my dad? Is it because I told you you had to?
Yeah. Plus, I learned from the time before you're supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, experience and learning from experience.
Yes. Asking the dad is a very important thing.
Yeah.
And Bobby was, at least when we first got married, Bobby was afraid, I think, of my parents because of the age difference. I wasn't, because I knew my parents would be happy that I was dating someone in their 20s.
Not somebody in their 30s.
Yeah. So, my parents were just happy that well,
at least he's only this old.
At least he's only 8 years older than you.
Yeah, instead of a guy in his 30s with a kid.
Yeah. They also like you for you, because you are my father, basically.
Yeah. For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
We have similar interests.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat similar backgrounds.
And you act a lot alike.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did that. We weren't planning on getting married in the summer of 2010 because my brother was going to, and he got engaged first, so I did not want to step on toes by getting married before him. Just kind of a respect thing, like, you got engaged first, let you have your thing.
Or be like, We got this date.
Yeah, we didn't want to do that. But he ended up not wanting to do anything big, him and his wife. They basically eloped, just had the parents of each side and a couple close friends, and that was it. And they did that within, I don't know, it was real quick.
But it was smart.
It was smart.
Because it was, obviously, it's like, you put a lot of money into weddings, and it's like, do you really get all that as like a big return? You, like, think about our wedding. Like, I remember our wedding because I think it was more unique.
Yes, our wedding was
But there's other
fun.
people where it's like, hey, do you remember your wedding? And they're like, not really. How much did you spend? Oh, I remember that. And they're like, yeah, we spent 15, 20 grand. I'm like, and you don't remember your wedding? Not really.
Yeah.
Good investment.
Yeah, we did not do that.
We put the money into an enjoyable event, and knowing that we rather have the money for, you know, things like needs.
Yeah.
House stuff. Even though I already owned a house, there's still stuff that needed to be done to the house. Home improvements.
Especially
then,
with me moving in.
Yeah, so she had to turn it from a bachelor pad into a home.
Yes.
Especially because it was me and my brother living in the house. So it was very much bachelor pad.
Yeah, it was all hand-me-down stuff all over that house till I moved in. And I've learned a lot of guys like the color of ducks.
Ducks?
Yeah, your house was no different than Rosh. Green and beige, everything you would see on a mallard duck.
Well, he likes hunting.
I know, but literally if you go into a bachelor pad, so many guys, it's those exact same colors. When he said duck the other day, I'm like, that's what it is. It's a mallard duck. Don't ask me why, but that seemed to be the colors that guys love. So, but yeah, so we had a very little wedding.
That's true, because I think my dad's the one that suggested the colors.
Mm-hmm. And except his bedroom, which was pink.
Okay, well, to be fair.
To be fair.
I didn't pick the colors. It was my living girlfriend.
Which was another reason to change it all.
Did all the painting. Because I'm like, I don't like painting. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I don't like it. I'm good with just moving to the house and it being white. Or whatever colors it was.
I would have been way happier with white.
And she's like, we're painting this. And I'm like, it's on you. And she did. And my dad's all like, oh, you should do these colors and blah, blah. I'm like, whatever, I don't care. But in the end, and then like my brother, he painted his own room. So I think he painted it like blue or something like that. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't really care. Like, I'll live in a house that's all white. The only downside to that is
cleaning
it. Or in a log cabin. She doesn't want to live in a log cabin.
That's not true. We have looked at houses that are like log cabin-y, and they're beautiful when they have the woodwork on the ceiling.
It looks grand.
But every wall logs, and then they always have a all wood kitchen, and everything is wood.
The reason why I like log cabins is when I was younger, we, as a family, one of our vacations, if we didn't go to Wisconsin Dells, which is like, if you live in Wisconsin, that's where you go on vacation.
Yeah.
Or you go up north. Even though we already live in the north, being in Wisconsin, so some people just call us Canadians, we go even further north. And guess what's up north? Log cabins.
I told you I like them, just not full-on
and
log.
they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So
not happening.
I thought they were really cool. Like this one vacation we went, I think it was Minocqua we went to. And this place we stayed in was gorgeous. It was huge. We went with my grandpa and obviously my parents, my family. And it was just so awesome. I just remember it was just really cool vacation.
I'd love to vacation there. I just don't want to live in it. We're getting off track though.
Yeah, I don't know where we were.
No.
Oh, we were engaged.
Yeah. So we got engaged. My brother ended up having a super quick wedding. Super small. So I was like, well, instead of waiting till next year, because something was going on that next year, I don't remember what.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we're like, let's move it to this July. We don't plan on doing anything big anyway. So we ended up doing that and got married in July of 2010.
Somebody else was going to get married.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
And we're like, ooh,
and we
better move ours up.
Yeah, we didn't want to mess with that. So we had a super small wedding. It was a church wedding. But then our reception was back at our house in our backyard. We got a couple tents, tables, had it decorated nicely.
Pig roast,
bonfire, and kind of potlucky also. Like people just brought dishes to pass.
Yeah, it was very like country outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
And like our pictures, that was probably the best thing out of
We have
all
some
of
of the
it.
best pictures.
We did our pictures on like the bluest, whitest cloud day.
It had
very
literally
sunny.
poured in the morning of our wedding.
Oh, it was. There was flooding the day before.
Mm-hmm. Well, the whole week before, I was terrified we wouldn't be able to do it because
it was hot and muggy too. Oh.
Yeah, but by the time we were done with the wedding and went to go get pictures, all the rain had subsided, but there were still clouds, and it was just beautiful.
Fluffy.
People literally think our wedding photos are fake or photoshopped because it's just gorgeous on Lake Michigan.
Yeah, we did the pictures at a golf course right on Lake Michigan, and then some of our other stuff was like right there on the water, like some old, very old, not even used anymore piers, like cement piers. I don't even know what used to be there, but whatever it was, they never pulled it out or anything. So we did our pictures right there on these old piers that are probably condemned, but we made our way down there and we took some good pictures. Mm-hmm. And then the other stuff on the golf course with like a lighthouse in the background, it was all very fancy.
But even when we got to like the pictures at the reception, like that was so much fun when we got pictures of like...
Well, yeah, because it was at our house, it was outside, so it was kind of like
and chill.
You can do whatever you want, not like if you're in a hall or something. It was like, because like your dad, his first thing is, all right, shoes off.
Well, my dad is also very old-fashioned, so the rule of the groomsmen cannot take their jacket off till the bride's father does. Usually, he likes to mess with people, and he'll keep his jacket on for as long as he can bear.
It was hot.
But it was hot, it was muggy, and he had that jacket off. He had his pants rolled up to like his knees.
Shoes off, barefoot.
Shoes off, bare feet. He was just chilling. But it was awesome. Like, we had so much fun. By the end of the night, I was so sick of wearing my dress. That thing came off. I put on some leggings and a t-shirt.
Yeah, I think we all just changed.
Went and played some beer pong. Like, it was just fun and not crazy. When I got tired, I just went to bed, but told everyone they could keep partying. But I'd been up since like 4 a.m. getting ready, so I just went to my room and went to bed. That was the best wedding ever. I don't think I would do it any different than what we did.
Yeah, considering if you think about like how much we had to eat and drink, it's like I remember like everything. It was great.
And we had pig for months in our freezer.
Oh, yeah, a lot of pig.
That was a lot of pig.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how we met. That was our wedding.
Mm-hmm. Now we've been.
Everybody thought the reason why we got married is because she was knocked up.
Yes.
Not true.
So
keep in mind.
Xander was born.
Xander's 8
in 2012.
Yeah, we got married in 2010.
Yes, but talking about that, when he called his mother to tell her we were engaged, and I was sitting right next to you, I still remember what your mom said on the phone.
I don't.
You get her pregnant?
No. Why would I do that?
That is what your mom said, though. Is she pregnant?
Like, no, we're just getting married.
Because I was sitting right there and I was like, really? Because I knew your dad liked me. Your mom is harder to read.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, not everyone, a lot of people assumed.
Yeah,
it was
a lot.
Because I was pregnant. And it was like, no, we just love each other.
Yeah.
So.
We had our little fur baby, Drake.
Yeah, we actually got Drake before we got married. We got him on my birthday that February before we got married.
Yep.
That's how I always know how old he is, because he is a year older than we've been married. Because his birthday's not long after our wedding anniversary.
I mean, not a full year, but I mean, if you know how old he is, you know.
How long we've been together.
Yeah. We've been together as long as he's been alive.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
The old man.
He's our original fur baby. He is getting old. He's just over there laying in his bed, staring at us like, you talking about me? You're gonna come over, you can tell we're talking about you?
As you take a really long stretch.
Yep.
You old man.
He's like, so can I come up?
No.
Alright, so that is our story. We probably went on a lot of tangents. So we're good at that.
Yeah, I could go sideways real quick.
But so we figured since people were asking and we got some new subscribers, we would tell you and kind of go more into detail. If y'all have other questions that you want to know or other like stories you guys want filled in, we can do more of these where it's just kind of a sit down and explain something or go over something. Story times are kind of fun. The question and Q&As we've done are fun.
Oh, and so I cover this question, so there's no questions. This is my favorite jacket. That's why I always wear it. I got it overseas. It's a super dry brand, which we don't have in America, or at least not by us. And
so if it's not in the wash, she's wearing it.
During the winter months and spring and fall, yeah. Yeah, I don't wear it in summer, except maybe at night. Depends.
You wear it a lot.
It's a heavier jacket.
It's staying up real good though, considering how much it's been washed and how much you wear it.
Yeah, I like that it has orange and black.
Well, it's 10 o'clock here. The boys are actually quiet, so we
that
can
means
go to
they're
bed.
in trouble or sleeping.
Hopefully sleeping.
Hopefully.
Usually they're maniacs, but they're being quiet right now. So
Well, that's because we wrestled earlier.
that is true. Y'all were crazy.
Yeah.
You rile them up.
Yeah.
He still hasn't told me the other reason that he thinks is my biggest pet peeve. So you should ask that in the comments if he doesn't tell me right now, because then he has to answer it because you asked it.
All right. I don't think it is though. Now that I think about it.
Okay.
When I trim my facial hair, usually I do it like right over the sink so it all catches in the sink. But if I'm in a hurry, I don't always get all the little hairs down. I don't know if that annoys her.
No.
Oh, okay. So then nothing.
Yeah, no, that doesn't annoy me. Because I probably shed just as much as your face sheds. So I always have hair all over the bathroom.
Yeah, I find it.
Because my hair, especially now after having Freya, I'm getting all that postpartum hair loss. And I already have a lot of hair. So when you get the additional hair from being pregnant and then
like,
shedding.
It's like we have these two dogs that shed. So
Yeah,
like,
hair's hair. That was lackluster.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
Who else thinks he's lying just to appease me?
No, that's it. That was really it. I'm like, is that it? I don't know.
No.
I thought you said that one time, so that's why.
It's a little annoying, but
At least I don't realize if I annoy or irritate you.
no. It takes a lot to annoy me. Usually if I'm getting annoyed, it's the kid's not listening. Or I'm just in a mood, and you girls know those moods, where anything's going to annoy me because my hormones are going crazy, and I just want everyone to leave me alone and not talk to me. But that has nothing to do with you specifically.
Well, that's good.
That's usually just The time of the
I
month.
feel like if you want to be alone, you picked the wrong house. You wanted 3 kids and 2 dogs. Wrong house. And you want another kid?
You brought it up first.
What? Now I'm rethinking this here.
No!
I mean,
Because you brought it up to me, so now I want it.
Freya's cute.
You
But
can't do
she's-
that to me. You can't say, oh, this might be nice to have another one, and then say, never mind. Because now you got me excited about having another one, so you're stuck with 4.
What?
That's how it works.
Mm.
We'll see you next time. Bye!